Good afternoon. We are back with a conversation with Swami G this afternoon in lovely Norfolk, Virginia. It's 3:21 in the afternoon, the 1st of June. This is the first day of June. Okay. And I wanted to ask you, for the people, because I'm getting a lot of comments, and I'm assuming you are too, about these videos. And they're really enjoying them, but some are asking me what can they do, either what can they read or think, or they're looking for some kind of a structure. Do you have any suggestions?
No.
Okay.
No, wherever spirit leads them, wherever their inner being leads them, is the proper thing to follow.
Well, okay. I mean, yeah, I understand that, and of course I have 5,000 books that you've recommended here. I'm forming a nice little library here.
Oh, that's good.
But just wherever it takes them.
Yes. Whether it's to God, away from God, it doesn't matter.
Can you elaborate? What do you mean, away from God?
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
I thought it was quite obvious. Whether they walk away from God or to God, God doesn't care. He loves them enough that they can do what they want. That's why they think they have free will.
Okay. They think they have free will? Okay,
well, at different levels of consciousness, different rules apply. And when you're on an earth plane as a human, it appears you have free will. But the higher you go in consciousness, the more you realize nobody has any will in anything.
So it's all God's hand moving through everything. Or whatever, not hand, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever's better than
whatever's
hand.
in hand.
I know, whatever, much better than hand, yes.
God's breath is moving through.
Oh, now she's made it something material.
Sorry. So whatever it takes you, wherever it takes you, that's where you are.
Yeah, you should follow your bliss.
Now that's something us old New Agers, old hippie you've heard a long time, following your bliss, but
yeah.
It led us down a lot of dark roads because we were following our bliss.
Well, there was some enjoyment down that dark road, or they wouldn't be going there, would they?
Yeah, I got some good kicks out of that dark road.
I've done plenty of those alleys.
I mean, I ran into a lot of walls, but
I visited a lot of them many times.
Okay.
Some I set up residence.
Gotcha. All right, got it. So, in essence, it's whatever, wherever. This is it. No, nothing to study, nothing to get, nothing to learn. Just
if you're lucky.
Okay, can you talk a little bit? What do you mean?
Well, if there's nothing to get, then you're not in the mad pursuit of something, and you could sit comfortably and just be, and then everything comes to you. But when you pursue things, they just run away.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. It's a little hard to stop that pursuit. You don't really realize you're running towards something. You have this little desire out there dancing in front of you. You go, oh, I'd like to taste that.
Mm-hmm.
So how can you come to a place of realization and realizing it's really just sort of biting you on the toe, these desires and things out here? I mean, somewhere along the line, how do you catch something?
How do you catch something?
Just
hang around somebody that has the flu, you'll catch something.
Okay.
No, I see what you're getting at, but it's the person has to want to make a significant change in their life, and until that takes place, nothing's going to occur, and there's no reason anything should occur. When they're at that place, they should just try not to hurt anybody and have fun. But it doesn't lead you on the spiritual path. The spiritual path is one of total renunciation. It's not acquiring, it's giving up.
Giving up everything. I don't mean
pretty
giving
much,
up.
Yeah, pretty much everything, yeah. And eventually your own ego. And once that goes, then it's what the people on earth call enlightenment, but the people that they think are enlightened think it's absolutely silly, because it's the natural state for everybody, and enlightenment's just a concept, and it's just a pile of bull.
Enlightenment is a pile of bull?
Yeah, it's a concept.
It's a concept, just
what
like any other
what
concept.
They're striving for is to be in their natural state what they actually are, the one consciousness and abiding peace and eternal bliss. And the ego doesn't exist there.
Also, it's just sort of putting the ego to bed or realizing it's not real.
You put it to bed, it'll wake up again. You strangle it.
How do you strangle the ego? How do you strangle the ego?
With a Brahmastram.
What is the Brahmastram?
Brahmastram is the terrible weapon of Brahma. Astram is a weapon. Brahmastram is Brahma's weapon.
Weapon as in, I'm not going to shoot you, but weapon as...
Oh yeah, I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to drag you kicking and screaming and submerge you into where you don't want to go. That's what it is. It is, who's this happening to? Who's thinking this? Who's doing this? It's me. Who am I? That's the terrible weapon. You take your ego and you make it face the soul. And the soul, as the sun, burns the ego to shreds. So you're murdering yourself, actually. It's suicide.
Without the body actually going kaput.
Sometimes. Doesn't matter. Goes kaput, don't go kaput, go kaput. It's, when you get to that state anyhow, you know it's a bunch of hogwash anyway. It's just concepts.
So anybody watching this time together, or this show, or whatever you want to call it.
Show.
It's a show!
Somebody got a circus in here or something. This is a boring show.
I hear you. So you can just chase yourself around trying to catch your tail and never make it, and finally you just...
No, that's what people usually do. And they have quite fun doing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, everybody's in a rut, their own little rut. They love their little rut. They don't want to get out of the rut. Try to get them out of the rut, you nail you to a tree.
Now, I have learned that one.
Yeah.
I've
leave
learned
them in their
very
rut.
little, but I've learned that one.
Yeah.
They'll
If they
nail
ask
you,
you, help me get out of this rut, then you throw them a ladder or a rope or some help. But until they ask, you don't mess with them.
because they will take you down with them.
No, they won't take you down with them. They'll nail you to a tree.
Oh, okay. Okay, getting nailed to a tree doesn't sound like my idea of fun.
And then unfortunately they'll start a religion over your corpse. And
okay, is that... So what happened to Jesus here? He got nailed to a tree and they started religion on his corpse.
Jesus, Buddha, you name it. They just, Of course, Buddha didn't get nailed to a tree. He got rotten pork, but it wasn't deliberately. Socrates, that's, yeah.
It's
Hemlock.
Socrates. Yeah,
Poisons.
hemlock. They poisoned him. Okay.
On and on.
Okay, so basically just...
Be.
Yes. And yet your mind stalls when you say just be. My mind
Well, hopefully
stalls.
it's stalled.
It stalls
I
out.
hope
And
it
it goes
stalls
duh.
permanently.
Stalls permanently.
Oh, yeah.
So if it stalls permanently,
That's what people call enlightenment.
Yeah. How does one feed oneself? Well, I know how
What?
one feeds oneself. You take care of yourself anyway, automatically.
No one ever fed oneself in the first place.
Okay, would you care?
There's a little scripture somewhere about little birdies and foxes, and did they plant crops, and their father takes care of them, and lilies and fields, and humans. God takes care of everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Everybody.
And everything.
Well, that's everybody.
Okay.
I include microbes in everybody.
Everybody, okay. That's our little lovely camera was experiencing a few microbes
I don't
right
discriminate among species.
Okay.
They're all people.
So actually, the trick is just to be right where you're standing, regardless of whatever's happening to you. Just be here.
Love it. Love what you got.
Love what you got.
Love what you got. Enjoy what you have. Wish for something else and enter hell.
So if you got a killer headache, love it.
No. If you got a killer headache, you go, who has this headache? My body has the headache. I'm not my body. So the body has the headache. So I'll just sit back and let it suffer. And if I can give it something to get rid of it, sure, but I'm not doing it. You know, God will go find an aspirin somewhere or whatever it takes to get rid of it. Or if you're supposed to go through the whole experience, the body's supposed to go through the whole experience. You let it, and you detach yourself from it by saying, who is suffering? Who am I? And the pain stops. But you can't think about it, because once you start thinking about it, you're inculcated back into the body, and then your head's going, bah, 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 you know.
Okay. So,
and then you're lost, and
then
then you just lay there crying, oh my, I don't want to die.
But as long as you can create that space by asking the question, who's having this headache?
Yeah. Kaliananda brought that to my attention when I had cancer.
Okay.
I had advanced rectal cancer, and I was in so much pain I couldn't see straight. And he told me to just sit back and think of who said I'm in pain. And then who says you're in pain? Just think about that for a while. And you detach. You detach.
And even though your body was hurting still, you could detach.
Yeah. A prime example of that is children with abusive parents. They detach. And the parents abuse them and beat them and do untold horrible things to them. But the children have a way of, most of them, detaching from the whole thing and becoming numb. God's very good that way. God protects the innocents in ways we don't know.
That's amazing, because I've always wondered about clients that you're raised in really abusive families, and yet
Yeah.
they seem to be fine.
Yeah.
You know, they seem to be fine.
Yeah.
And God just will detach you.
Yeah.
You don't even have to ask God to detach you. God just, for the innocent, as children and what, God just detaches them.
It depends on the individual's soul, but God is not really that cruel to anybody. When people are in really great suffering, they detach. They discorporate from the whole situation.
Okay. You give me a lot to think about here.
No, I wish I didn't. Thinking stinks.
Oh, come on. Thinking stinks.
Oh, to high heaven. Better to spend your life in a septic tank than think.
Okay, one more question. Okay. This saying is better to spend your life in a septic. I mean, I'm hearing everything you're saying.
Yeah.
You'll find more joy and peace there.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be there, actually. It would just, people would see you was there, and you wouldn't be thinking, so you're not there, and you're resting in the arms of God, as they say, having a wonderful time. And everybody else is going, oh my God, he's in the septic tank.
Okay.
No, but if you're thinking in the septic tank, then you're inside the septic tank. Oh God, I'm in the septic tank.
Oh, so I mean, you're
The
sitting there
thinking- we're talking about
thinking on a
thinking.
septic tank
Yeah.
as opposed to
Yeah.
this place.
Yeah.
Smells a little funny, but hey.
Yeah.
I'm still breathing,
Try
walking
making
around.
an absurd analogy. I like
No, I
that
like
shit.
it. I like it. It's good. Okay,
Yeah.
give me a lot to think about. Okay, I think we've come to the end of our first session in this particular series. We want to thank you for joining us. We want to thank the enlightened one here.
Oh, what a pile.
And we shall see you again in a moment. Thank you.
The enlightened one.